Good evening and welcome everybody to the 2 Meter Crew Antinet. My name is Nick, call sign is KN6DAL, and before we get started, let's just take a break and see if we have any emergency or priority traffic. If we do at any point during the Antinet, you can say break break with your call sign and we will clear the air. Is there any priority traffic at this time? All right, first and foremost, let's thank the owners and supporters of the repeaters and all of the digital connections. Definitely the W6VVR repeater and the Vacaville Radio Club, the FreeSTAR Network for the use of their repeaters and digital connections. Also, a big thanks to Mike, WG5EEK, Greg, KN6KIE, and Brian, KK6BXP for their continued networking efforts. The 2 Meter Crew is not an actual club. We're just a group of ham radio operators that are learning and enjoying all things ham related. There's no dues or fees to be a 2 Meter Crew member. If you're looking for more information, you can visit us at 2metercrew.net or join our Discord group. There's links in the description on YouTube, and we definitely encourage you to check that out. Also, this is an open net. It's available for anyone to come in and say hi, so feel free to jump in with your call sign and check in and just tell us how your week in ham radio was. The 2 Meter Crew Antinet meets every Wednesday at 8 p.m., which is 3 a.m. UTC, on the W6VVR repeater, which is a frequency of 145.470, a negative offset of 600 kilohertz, and a PL of 127.3. We are also reachable through Echolink at W6VVR-R, Allstar node links 51094 and 512342, DMR talk group 3174117, YSF reflector 50462, through FreeSTAR at Allstar links 2195 and 53377. Also, if you go to FreeSTAR I believe it's freestar.uk. I'll double check that and find a link for the YouTube comments. They have a ton of different connections that you can connect through if you want to check out that system. And also Mountain West, P25, and DMR are talk group 31062. All right. The Anti-Net's also being live streamed right here at Northwest Ham Shack. Please like and subscribe to the channel. You can get notifications on when we go live. And let's see who we got out there. Is there anybody that's never checked in with the 2 Meter Crew before, or maybe you have and you just want to jump in and say hi? Come on in now.
This is my first time checking. My name is Kellen, KN6ETB. You copy?
Oh my God. All right, Kellen, thanks for checking in. First timer, that's a great call sign. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Fairly new to the hobby. I just joined back in October of 19. Figured I'd make the night fun and just jump on in. How y'all doing tonight? I'm doing swell. I'm getting ready to leave to Montana with my beautiful wife and 2 kids tomorrow. So, tune in. I'll be around.
Oh, it's him.
It's Kellen.
You have a voice changer?
What grade are you in, Kellen, in 6ETR?
Yeah, I have a relay on that. I didn't have that keyed up, Dan. Sorry. We were curious. What grade are you in, Kellen? It sounds like you maybe just got through 6th grade, somewhere around there.
Slip.
I'm the grade of never graduated. I'm just that tall.
Ask him if he has his permission slip to use the radio.
Well, you better give that radio you borrowed back to whoever it belongs to. Just kidding. Thanks for checking in, Kellen. Who else we got out there tonight?
That was good.
Video mobile one. This is Adam, KD6 POC on Highway 37, the Sears Point side.
Hey, thanks for checking in, mobile. Are you coming in through RF or through a digital link?
Classic VHF radio, brother. The old school way.
Love it.
I knew it sounded too good to be digital.
Servando said you sounded too good to be digital. Yeah, I appreciate you checking in. It's funny. There's, we have all these different digital connections, and we have a pretty overwhelmingly large group of like diehard analog lovers, myself included. But I appreciate you coming in tonight, Adam, and saying hi. Who else we got out there?
Golf 4 X-ray November Golf.
G4XNG. Good evening. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right, my man. You say good evening. It's 3 o'clock in the morning in the UK. I'm in downtown Oldbury, which is just north of Birmingham, right in the middle of the United Kingdom.
Well, I appreciate you sticking it out and checking in with us tonight. I'm not sure if it was you. I heard a couple of you guys chatting it up a little bit earlier today through the FreeSTAR Network. I'm assuming that's how you're coming in. You sound good and clear on the radio, and I definitely appreciate it. How's everything going over there on the other side of the world?
Can't understand the Brummie accent. You can always use Google. Right, mate. Somebody's taking the mickey because of the accent. We have a very funny accent over here, and we don't speak right. How's everything doing over here? Apart from all the hand-wringers and the do-gooders of the planet meeting in in Glasgow, and trying to sort out the world's problems by flying around the place. We're doing all right. It's cold. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. It's about 9 degrees. Name is Andy, by the way. I don't know if I told you that. Licensed since 1983, 84ish, so I'm a bit of an old git. and not used to all this digital stuff over.
Hey, I totally understand. It sounds like you're making it in real good though, and don't worry. We probably have really funny accents to all of you over there too, so it's okay. But Andy, I really appreciate you checking in with us tonight, and hope you stick around. And we're going to be posting here in just a few moments on YouTube at Northwest Ham Shack. We're gonna post a Zoom link where you can actually come in and chat in the group if you're interested, and that invitation will be open to anybody. So thanks for checking in with us, Andy. Let's see who else we got out there tonight. Come on in.
B1 FRD.
AC6 and LW.
All right, I heard
Well,
both of
gentlemen,
you,
here
Fred
next
and
meeting
Frank.
from Kansas
Frank, if you want to
City,
stand by for just
more or
one
less
moment.
now.
Fred, how you doing tonight?
Hello, Nick. Hello, Antinet. Yeah, I'm doing fine. Driving home from work. Things I can talk about is we already had 3 weeks of what we do down here in the Bay Area of California is Sideband Sunday. It's been fun to do that with everybody. And then Derek started up what he calls Drunk Sailor Saturday, which is C4 FM Simplex.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of posts on that. How is that going? And if you want to just maybe throw out the frequency and the times that you guys are all meeting up, so everybody that's not aware of it can maybe get connected.
For Sideband Sunday, it's 6:30 p.m. on Sunday, and we meet on 144.200 upper sideband. And vertical's okay. A lot of us are on vertical. I'm working on doing horizontal myself.
Well, that's awesome. It's good to see that used. I don't do a whole lot in single sideband, but it's definitely something I've considered getting an antenna set up for. So cool, man. Well, I appreciate you checking in tonight. And we had a couple people behind you. I think next up was Frank, KC6 and LW. Go ahead.
Good evening, Nick, and the two-meter anti-net. Yeah, I guess that's the proper term for it. Being an anti-net, I'm not sure how to address it since I'm so used to net. Anyway, not much going on here in Cloverdale, just the usual same old, and sounds like you got some phony voices out there tonight. I'm not sure. Anyway, all right, take it away. Have fun. I'm watching on YouTube too. KM60AL on the anti-net, KG6, and I'll tell you at Cloverdale.
Yeah, thanks. I think Kellen was just being kind of a goofball, and that is to be expected. If you've ever met him, that's part of who he is. We'll never be able to change him, but we love him anyway. KN60AL for ID. Who else do we got out there tonight?
K7 CBL.
83 VDT.
All right, I got Connor, K7CBL, and KE3VDT. Connor, I'll come right back to you. KE3VDT, go ahead.
Group. I just had loaded the DroidStar back again with help of Connor. Thank you. And it's got some quirks, but yeah, I figured I'd try it out tonight, and seems to be working okay on my iPhone 8 Plus.
Hey, that's awesome. Cool. I'm glad you were able to make it work and get the digital connection all set up. For those of you that don't know what DroidStar is, there is a 2-meter crew anti-net which is saved at Northwest Ham Shack that goes over DroidStar and DudeStar and how to connect. And it's a great tool for those that want to kind of get a little bit more involved in the digital side of ham radio, but don't quite have the equipment to hook a radio up. So definitely a good way to kind of start that off in the hobby. That's awesome. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this is Will. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's a piece of beta software that the developer, I guess, is working on. And, usually you wouldn't have, star-type system on an iOS. So can use it for DMR and the Yaesu systems and others that I haven't even begun to try. KA3, DDT.
All right. Well, thanks for checking in with us tonight, Will. And then we had Connor. Connor, take it away.
Just figured I would listen back to myself, K7CBL. No unenabled noise suppression, so I guess you guys don't hear the air conditioner in the background. I'll give you a check-in on that one, K7CBL.
All right, you sounded good there, Connor. That was an awfully nice radio you were talking on. For those of you watching YouTube, you may have caught a glimpse of that. I'll leave that for you to describe if you want to. Let's see who else we got out there on the air. If you're listening in, check in now. Come on in.
I'm not here, Nick, and the rest of the gang. K6BXX, Michael from you know where.
Michael from Carmichael, the living legend. How are you tonight?
Living legend. Well, I guess I'm all right. I'm living just fine. Sorry I haven't talked to you guys in a while. I guess with the 8 o'clock start time, I can't be up as long because I usually in bed 2 and 8:30, 9 o'clock. But I'm doing okay. Off to the hills tomorrow for regional trucking. Thankfully, I don't have to worry about snow yet. It's going to rain, but rain high. I've only chained once in trucks all my life. But anyway, I'm not using a 7100 right now. Probably some of you guys heard I bought the 7100 Icon a few weeks back through South Carolina Ham on QRZ. It's working just fine. All you need now is to keep testing for my general and get the general, and then add a little more gear, and I can just finally join HF here soon. But so far, so good. Radio's been nice. I can listen in on it, and it does work well with 2 meters. But I'm using my old 2300 so far. But how you doing yourself, Nick? How's you and your family?
Hey, thanks for asking, Michael. Everything's going good. Family's good. Kids are happy and healthy and rambunctious, and they're growing like weeds. So everything's going awesome. I appreciate you checking in with us tonight, and let's take a quick break and just go over today in history. So a couple cool things happened. In 1493, Christopher Columbus discovered Guadalupe during his second expedition. And in 1677, William III and Mary of England wed on William's birthday. In 1760, following the Russian capture of Berlin, Frederick II of Persia defeated the Austrians in a battle of Torgau. In 1798, Congress agreed to pay a yearly tribute to Tripoli, considering it was the only way to protect U.S. shipping. And in 1842, Abraham Lincoln married Mary Todd in Springfield, Illinois. All right. In 1918, Austria signs the armistice with the Allies. In 1922, the entrance to King Tut's tomb was discovered. Also in 1922, the U.S. Postmaster General orders all homes to get mailboxes or relinquish delivery of mail. And this is Nick, KN6DAL for ID. In 1924, Calvin Coolidge is elected the 30th President of the United States. In 1946, the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, which is the UNESCO, is established. In 1952, General Dwight D. Eisenhower is elected the 34th President of the United States. In 1980, Ronald Reagan is elected the 40th President of the United States. In 1992, Carol Moseley Braun became the first African-American woman to be elected to the U.S. Senate. And in 2008, Senator Barack Obama of Illinois was elected the 44th President of the United States and was the first African-American to hold that position. And that is today in history. Who else we got out there tonight that'd like to check in with us?
N6SPB, Scott, in San Jose.
Well, good evening, Scott. How are you tonight?
Doing well. I'm coming in on DMR through Brandmeister, and I'm hoping that this time it's working. A couple of weeks ago, we had all sorts of trouble with me getting through, and I found some issues, and hopefully I'm making it in there. But everything's going well here, and hope you guys are all having a good evening.
Yeah, it seems to be going pretty well, and your connection sounds absolutely perfect. It sounds clear. You're coming in good. Audio quality is great. So I appreciate you checking in with us tonight, and you're welcome back anytime. We also posted a link to our Zoom chat if you're interested in joining. Anybody watching on YouTube, that is in the comments, and you're always welcome to jump on in. All right, this is Nick, KN6DAL. Let's take a second and hear from a couple of our other coordinators. Let's see, Dan, K6ETR. I had to write your call sign down because it wasn't listed on the link. You available to check in and say hi?
This is Dan, N6ETR. Sorry, you caught me in the middle of a bathroom break. But yeah, it's great hearing everybody check in tonight. And I'm really glad we got to hear our friend in the UK. That's pretty cool. Let's see, how did everybody fare during the competition this last weekend? I got to play around with it a little bit here and there, and got 2 Japan contacts and 1 from Chile. So that was pretty cool. N6ETR.
Yeah, I didn't even mention that yet. That was an awesome day. Actually, the whole weekend was really great. I only got on and really made any contacts on Sunday, but I managed to make several DX contacts. A lot of them were kind of over in the UK, Finland, Italy, some in Japan, a couple in Brazil. It was a very, very packed day for HF. I've never seen 20 meters as full as it was, like from 14.150 to 14.350. It was literally every single frequency that you could talk on was completely packed, and so that was a lot of fun. And I know that Servando got on the air a little bit there. Servando, you have anything to add on the contest this last weekend?
A6 SRB, Servando here. Yeah, thanks, Nick. I was really surprised. I probably should have done some research and should have known that DX competition was happening, because I totally went out and was gonna I'm gonna go do a POTA, and yeah, that was not gonna happen. 20 was completely packed, like you said. 40, I could get in here and there, but I was able to make contact first time with Japan. That was pretty cool. A bunch of North Pole, Alaska. It was pretty nice, man. I can hear Chile, but I couldn't get in there. Those guys are spicy.
Yeah. I clipped you off on your call sign. I apologize. That was K6SRV. Yeah, one interesting thing about Japan is on the West Coast here, for those of you, a lot of us are on the West Coast. Japan comes in pretty well, and it's all water right in between us, and so that's a really great way if you can get a moderately decent performing antenna up, and you can run typically a full power station at 100 watts or so. You can usually make contact with Japan, and that's a really long contact. At least for me, I want to say I'm typically around 4,800 miles, somewhere around there from Japan. So if you're looking to make a good strong DX contact, that's one way to go. And it seems like when a competition or a contest comes about, Japanese stations just come out of the woodworks, and then you go and look them up on QRZ, and some of these stations are just like dedicated. They have multiple huge towers with antennas and beams on them, and it's really cool to see how much effort they put into being a really strong station to get out there. This is Nick, KN60AL. Who else we got out there tonight? Who wants to check in and say hi?
One FRD, Nick. I got a little North Pool action on 20 on Sunday. I got that contest station. It's probably the same one Servando got.
Hey Nick, people aren't leaving enough time for the digital connections to come up. I've had somebody ID twice on DMR or on P25 and they're not getting in.
Oh, okay. We'll leave a good long break.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Alaska station was really cranking him out there, and he was on all day on Sunday too. So I think I made contact with him with 10 watts portable on my KX2. So that was fun. I know that there's a station trying to get in digitally, and sometimes there's a little bit of a lag. So I'll leave a big long break. If there's any digital stations that are trying to get in and check in, it can sometimes be a challenge just because there's it can take time for that to get through. So we'll leave a big long break here. Anybody want to check in? Come on in.
I had a
well,
question
I
to me.
hear
I was
him.
ordering that the drive-through here at
I'll be right
In-N-Out,
back.
so if it was repeated.
Thanks, Fred. I got totally distracted because Connor was in the chat and he goes, "I'll be right back," and he rips off his headphones and ran out the door. But there was a digital station trying to get in, and I heard his call sign. It was really faint. So if you want to give it just 1 second here, were you able to get contact with him, Connor?
Yeah, he should try. You gotta ask for check-in first. Come on. Gotta keep and ask for the digital check-ins.
All right, KN60AL, digital check-ins. Come on in now.
Kilo 8 Delta Lima Lima.
Hey, that worked. I see you were in the chat, and it's good to hear you on the air. My name is Nick. What do you got?
Do you hear him?
Yeah, I heard him.
I don't hear him.
I heard him
Oh.
clear.
I didn't hear it through Zoom. Whatever, you heard him.
Yeah.
He responded to you.
Oh, he's only.
Did
coming
you
in
hear it?
sometimes. Yeah, it's not making it through.
Make sure the
radio's on channel 1.
KCBL.
KCBL.
Yeah,
He
I
should
didn't
be
hear it
coming
through
in.
Zoom, but I saw it key up. I saw him key up.
Okay, this is Kilo 8 Delta Lima Lima. I haven't touched the radio.
Tell him he sounds good. And say what he said again.
Yeah. So your first transmission with your call sign, I heard you loud and clear, and you sounded good. And then this last transmission, you were really good. So we'll just roll with that. Let's see how you're doing tonight. Go ahead, and we'll see if it makes it all the way through. For some reason, it was keying up on P25, but it was not keying in through our Zoom, so we couldn't hear a couple of the transmissions. But try it one more time. K8DLL, take it away.
Okay, trying it again. Good evening, this is K8DLL, Don, out here in San Mateo, California. About just down the hallway from K7CBL studio. And just sitting here watching you over the YouTube channel for the first time.
Yeah, that's good. You sound awesome. I appreciate you checking in with us tonight, Dawn, and hopefully you will stick around. If you'd like to join the Zoom chat, you're welcome to do so. There's a link in the live chat on YouTube. If you want to do that, you can just come on in, and we're happy to hang out for a little bit. Appreciate the check-in. Who else we got out there tonight? Any stations, anywhere? Come on in now.
Kilo November 6, Foxtrot Zulu Zulu, Mark and Rancho Cordova.
Mark, good evening. How you doing tonight?
Doing great. Hope you guys are doing well too. 7-3.
All right, appreciate the check-in. Who else we got out there? Anybody want to check into the 2-meter crew anti-net? This is Nick, KN6DAL. Come on in.
This is Rose, Kilo November 6, Romeo Charlie Oscar, mobile, just heading home from dropping off a friend in Concord here. Just checking in, listening in on y'all's conversation. 7-3.
Thanks for checking in, Rose. You sound great tonight. Your audio is crystal clear. Appreciate the check-in. Who else we got out there?
BK6SCRC, and is the problem with the audio on your end, over?
All right, can you come again? Your audio sounded pretty clear, but I didn't catch the call sign. Can you come in one more time with the call sign? Okay, nothing heard. Next station, we got any other stations to check in with us? Come on in now. All right, just a reminder, we do have a Discord that is pretty active. There's a lot of people that chat on it, and there's a lot of chatter going on right now about Kellen's little stunt first thing in the anti-net. If you're looking to connect with anybody, need help building anything, are interested in just learning more about radio, or just looking for some people to connect with and hang out, that's a great place to start. There's a link in the description, and you can accept that, and we definitely encourage it.
People get help daily. You should check it out. Pretty cool. K6SRB.
All right, KN6DAL. Fred, I'm trying to figure out, you've got like multiple signs here, or you're logged in on YouTube under two different names. It's kind of funny. We got Fred, we got W1FRD Radio. Speaking of which, I'll mention that Fred has got a YouTube channel that he's starting up, just kind of going through the hobby and different things that he does. And if you look in the chat, W1FRD Radio, you can go over there, give him a little love, like and subscribe to his channel. That way you can get notifications when his videos pop up. So let's see if we got any other stations out there. Come on in and say hi.
November 6th, Echo Foxtrot Romeo.
Bert, how you doing tonight?
Doing all right. Just got home and still turning on the computer, trying to get this all set up. And hopefully, we had a power outage, I think, before I got home. So hopefully the hard drive's still working.
Did you, Bert? Did you take part in the sideband contest this last weekend at all?
No, I didn't. I actually didn't know about it until you guys were talking about it just now.
Yeah, I'm just as guilty as you. I typically find out about those things when I go to get on the air and the bands are packed full. But well, that's cool. I appreciate you checking in, and hopefully you can get your computer running. We'll see you on Zoom here in a little bit. Let's see who else we got out there. Anybody want to check into the 2 Meter Crew Anti-Net? Come on in now.
Yeah, when we go off the air, I'm gonna have to show this video Derek posted. It was a Ham's car that like went in for an oil change or something like that. And it's like, I don't know if you guys saw it on the Facebook, but oh my god, there's like the man had all band. He was the global mobile.
2E0
So
UKH listening in the UK.
that was quiet.
Chris, good evening. It is awfully early for you to be up and running around. Thanks for checking in. How you doing tonight?
Yeah, doing okay, Nick. Lovely to hear you guys on. I am watching you on YouTube, the Northwest Ham Shack. And you should mention the name every now and again because you'll get more views there. And yeah, it's nearly 4 o'clock in the morning this way, so I won't be on video, but I was up. I just woke up, so I thought I'd call in and say hello.
Hey, I definitely appreciate it. Having you come on is always a blessing. It's definitely appreciated. For those of you that don't know, Chris, 2E0UKH, has a fantastic YouTube channel, which is Digital Analog Ham. And you can check him out if you're at all interested in getting involved in any digital connections or learning about several different types of radios. He is the resource to go to. So definitely go check out his channel, like and subscribe to that. There's more information than you can possibly get in a day. You can spend weeks on some of his videos. He also does a lot of really cool, similar to what we do with SOTA and POTA activations. He does a lot of mobile, portable HF contacts, which is a lot of fun to watch. So thank you so much for checking in, Chris. I'll give it back to you for one more final, and I hope you have a great morning.
Yeah, okay, thanks, Nick. Thanks very much. Yes, I was on the worldwide contest. You were talking about that a minute ago, and that was incredible. Every frequency was lit up, and I was monitoring the SFI, the solar flux index, and it was incredibly high, higher than it was of late over the weekend, and that helped. And from the UK, in my car, on FM 10 meters, I was opening the New York repeater, which I've not heard for 4 years. Back to you.
Yep, it's definitely a sign that the solar cycle is changing for the better as far as amateur radio is concerned. And I'm just excited to be a part of it at this time in my life to see all of these contacts starting to get easier and easier. I too heard some chatter, not a whole lot, but some on 10 meters, which was different than what I'm used to. I usually don't hear very much at all, so that's great. Yeah, it's fun to participate in those sometimes. I definitely appreciate you coming in and chiming in, Chris, and I hope you have a great morning and enjoy your day. Let's see who else we got out there. We got a lot of FreeSTAR people check in this last go around. So who else we got out there on FreeSTAR? Anybody? Come on in now. All right, nothing being heard. We're going to take one last round and see if there's anybody that wants to check in, and then we'll be fairly quickly moving over to our Zoom chat. So if anybody wants to jump on and say hi or has any stories they want to tell about their week in radio or anything that they want to bring to the table, you're welcome to join Zoom. There's several links in the chat on YouTube, and feel free to come on in, and we'll get you hooked up. So I appreciate everybody coming out and having some chatter. There's a note I'll read here. Lawrence, not a ham, but am a radio enthusiast, and I heard you guys while at work in the UK listening through GB3 CD repeater on my Anytone 878. So I thought I'd give your channel a like and check it. Well, I appreciate that, Lawrence, and I definitely hope that you can get your call sign and get your ticket. And if you need any help with that, I'm probably not the right person, not being from the UK. However, we can definitely get you connected with some of our good friends over there. I hope you're well on your way with that, and you're always welcome to come in to Zoom and say hi, and you can do it that way to visit us. So we appreciate you coming in again, and I hope you have a good evening or morning for you. This is Nick, KN60AL. We'll take one last round, see who we got out there. Come on in now if you'd like to check into the 2 Meter Crew Anti-Net. All right, nothing being heard. We're going to go ahead and return all these repeaters and digital connections back to normal operation. We'll keep Zoom alive here for a little bit and keep the conversation going. I appreciate everybody coming out and participating, and we hope to see you next week. We'll say 7-3 and have a good night. All right. Bert, you made it. The computer's working.
I had a little bit of had to check the hard drive and all this and that. I was like, oh man, is it gonna crash again? Because I've already reinstalled Windows like 4 times.
Oh, I gotta turn that off. Sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
Where'd that come from?
Oh, it was.
Was that on your side?
Yeah, I think that was just analog over VVR. I'm pretty sure, but I turned it off. You're good.
Oh, I hear it, yeah.
Power outages are the pits, aren't they? They're just
yeah,
the worst.
yeah.
It screws my computer up every single time. I hate it.
Yeah. Like I should get a backup system or whatever, but I don't know. I've always thought about it, but I don't know. We'll see. I keep looking for that good deal to get one.
Yeah. A lot of people were utilizing digital connections tonight. Did you guys notice that? That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I heard.
Yeah, we had Will. Will, you got your phone all set up. That's pretty cool. Was that super complicated, or did it seem like it was pretty streamlined to you, Will? You're muted, by the way.
Yeah. So, the other beta development link or whatever expired. Even my Dude Star has been acting up. It's like you have to hear something in order to have it connect. You can't just connect to a Brandmeister, let's say, and then go into, your DMR talk group and just, listen and then just jump in. I mean, or even if no one's there, it won't work. It's so I'll go to 91 Old World, and then if it hears something, then sometimes I can switch over. But tonight, I think it was because you called out. I think that was the only reason why.
Well, one thing to keep in mind with the DMR side of it is once you've connected, you still have to, once it says you're connected on just DMR, you still have to hit transmit for like one full second, and then click transmit again to unkey, and basically you're chunking it to get in.
I got banned one time on Brandmeister for doing that early on with Dude Star, but that's not even working. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I've tried different things and I haven't figured out. It's like hit or miss, because I'm trying to talk to a friend in Vermont and he's on like 3150. But if I go to 91, because there's a lot of talk there, there's a lot of chatter. So I'll hear something, and then sometimes I'll do like the 4,000 to clear it out. And then, but if I go back in, and like tonight, it was early on, and I go into the log and I can see it connected to the network, but it's not transmitting.
Yeah.
Even though I'll call out and stuff, it's funky.
And it's not perfect. I mean, realistically, to get into like the Brandmeister network, the cleanest way to probably do that is through a hotspot with a radio.
Right.
Now, the drawback to that is that can get expensive, right? And your phone is also expensive, but you typically already have one. And so it just makes it really convenient to at least try it out and get a feel for the conversation. So I completely agree with you, Will. It's not a perfect setup. Chris, Digital Analog Ham, just mentioned in YouTube, maybe try a different master server. So instead of linking through, like, oftentimes we'll use one of the American servers, like 3103, 3102, 3101. Try something different. There's they're all over the world, and you can utilize any of them. And sometimes
I've used ones in the UK.
Yeah.
Tonight was Canada, because there was a while there where Brandmeister was not allowing. I forget what it was. I think ARK talked about it one night, or maybe you did, or something, where if you did the USA one, they were like blocking USA people. That was a couple months ago. But anyway, I have done what you're saying, jump on different hosts.
Yeah, but it's fun to experiment with. It's fun to try stuff out and just kind of get acquainted with the process. So anyhow, what else?
Yeah, I've done Echolink. I've done Echolink into VVR. That was back when Mike was still up at Travis. And then, I even tried getting into Connor's machine the other night, but I need a little better antenna to hit San Mateo from Walnut Creek.
Yeah, I think the cleanest connection that I found for any digital mode would be Allstar, by far. It's a lot more complicated to set up depending on what you're trying to do, but at least for me, it affords me the ability to link multiple different things at one time. That's the only way that right now we're not linked anymore, but that's the only way that I can link DMR, YSF, a repeater system that's got another Allstar connection, another Allstar node that's linked to P25, and you can kind of mesh them all together, and it sort of works in harmony most of the time, right? But it was a long road of really, really, really rough audio to get all of that working. But once it's working, like if you just have a simple Allstar node connected to another simple Allstar node, the audio is fantastic compared to DMR or YSF or anything like that. And most people that have operated Allstar agree, and I'm sure there are people that don't, and they can, but that's my experience.
Yeah, I'm still working on my little projects for my Allstar, so that's take a little back seat.
Yeah. Well, if you ever need any help with that, you can definitely reach out to any of us through Discord, and usually on the weekends or sometimes in the evenings we can set aside a little bit of time, and we're happy to fire up a Zoom call or whatever to try to walk you through anything you need on that.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So we got about 10 minutes left before we're gonna shut her down tonight. Anybody else got any comments? What do you got for us, Connor? Other than your awesome radio you were talking on.
No, I was just running out to pick up the radio I gave to my dad. He had the good old pimp out radio, the one that I give the people to get them to start P25. So he kept, I guess I gave it to him maybe on channel 4, which on these radios it's because there's no display. So each talk group is a channel, right? So he kept IDing, and it would disconnect the reflector from the repeater. So then when I ran out there, I checked, and sure enough, that was the situation. So I put him on channel 1, and then no one gave enough of a break, and then finally he got in. So wasn't quite sure. For a second, I was like, something wrong with that radio? Like, I didn't know what was going on, because I mean, I couldn't hear him. I could hear him locally on the portable and on the base, but I couldn't hear him coming through Zoom. So who knows? At least it worked, you know.
Yeah, no, that was cool. But when he did come in, his audio actually sounded really good, and
that's P25. Yep.
Yeah, and so I'm glad that I don't know that we've had a connection through P25 into the anti-net directly that way yet, and so that I think he was the first one, except for you when you did it. But no, that's definitely a good test to that connection. It seems to be working really well. We had a question in our chat. It said, what area was Kellen discussion seen on Discord? I'll have to pull it up. I got a notification on it, but I don't know exactly where it was at. But you did, Kellen, you said something about a thumb switch. Get a foot switch. They're off the hook, man. They work really well.
Hey, can you guys hear me all right? I'm driving right now.
Yeah, you sound way different through Zoom than you did on the air.
Yeah, that was all natural, Just give a good tight squeeze, make any noise you want. But thinking a little finger switch, they kind of, they make them for like bicycles,
Yeah.
for, rugged radios makes a little PTT button that you work off your thumb.
Yeah.
And, I can still like write and do other things with it and not have any issues. I just don't want to have to, I fit on my feet too much. So a foot switch wouldn't work too much.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, to each their own. There's a lot of different ways that you can do it. You can get triggers. There's all kinds of ways to do it that way. I have a Heil setup that has a trigger. I don't use it that often, but for whatever reason I got to the foot switch. I started doing that so that I had my hands free, because I was running into a problem of constantly having to hold down a push to talk to allow other people to talk and then allow myself to talk, all through while channeling all that audio through Zoom out to all the digital connections, and it got really hard to do anything with one hand completely tied up. So the foot pedal worked for me, and now I've got two of them. I've got one for analog, so when I'm operating HF, I just use the foot pedal, and then I have one for all the digital stuff. But yeah.
And that's the Heil foot switch that you're using?
No, these are a lot less expensive. I think Heil does make a foot pedal, if I'm not mistaken.
They do.
They do. Yeah.
They make a USB and a 1/4 inch.
Like I was playing with one when we were at Pacificon, and I was using the W1ASW, whatever. I can't remember what the call sign was, but they had a headset that I was like, man, this is a cool headset to get, but I didn't even see what the model was or anything. I was like trying to look up, see how much it would cost or something like that.
Yeah.
And
the good ones can get really expensive really fast.
I was like, started looking, I was like, maybe not.
Maybe a microphone, $60 Amazon microphone, USB or XLR microphone, or whatever you want to do, and then a good pair of headphones or whatever you got going on. I mean, you probably could get away with what you have now, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I do it. So
well, these ones, this is, what is this? This is a USB, Bluetooth, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Because it's a gaming headset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this was a long time ago. Mike WG5EK and I were discussing these headphones and the concept of using them as a radioless Allstar node, and then he implemented that. So he ordered them and tried them out, and then he got Jason from HRTV FAK on board. And Jason built a radioless node. I don't know how much he uses that now. I haven't heard him talk about it in the recent past, but when he got it set up, he went on like a long road trip and basically had a headset on that he could just talk, and there was just one little button that you press, and it was all radioless, and it just hooked up to a Raspberry Pi, and he was connected to VVR, so that was pretty cool. So there are definitely different options for depending on the type of connection you're trying to get going to use other than just, a standard microphone.
I think I bought that headset. It was on sale that one day, and it was just like $22. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I'll grab that.
Yeah. I'm gonna wait for it to go on sale again and buy one. I think.
Yeah.
Just to have one.
Just to have one.
Yeah.
But I still need to make my Raspberry Pi into an Allstar node or anything, but it's still like set up for whatever it came with.
Yeah, it sounds like there's a couple people out there that want to do that. I know it sounds like Will wants to. You have a setup that you want to do, so it might be worth just let's get together. Let's get a group of 3 or 4 people, or however many people want to join. We can extend that invitation out to anybody that wants to play a part in it. You really only need a couple of things. You need a Raspberry Pi, or you can also set it up on a virtual machine similar to like what Connor has. There's a little bit more to that, but we can work through all of those different things and get some people on the air. So I'm not opposed to taking the better part of a weekend and helping whoever wants to try to set one up. We can get it going in an evening. So definitely worth giving it a shot.
Okay. What else do we need other than the Pi? Do we need anything else?
Well, if you're going to operate via a radio, you're going to need a donor radio and an interface cable and a preferably a USB rim light. But there are other digital to analog interfaces that you can get. But the rim light is pretty reliable and fairly inexpensive. I think they run $50. Is that right, Connor? They're still 50.
Yeah, it was like 55 shipped to my front door.
Yeah, and that's it. That's honestly probably the most expensive component if you're going to run via a radio. If you're going to run radioless, then all you need is a way to get audio into a Raspberry Pi and a Raspberry Pi and an SD card. And then if you're going to use a radio, you can go as inexpensive as a $70 Baofeng mobile, like the TYT 8900s and things like that. They aren't the best, but they do work. If you don't have a lot of RF interference around it, it'll function. And then you can modify many radios to make work as an Allstar node. It's just a matter of finding out what the pinout schematic is on it and going from there. But we can work through all of those challenges and get whoever's interested in getting on Allstar all set up.
Yeah, I think I bought the rim light thing, but
okay. Yeah, you're
I forgot what the hell I did with it. You just reminded me, like I bought one.
Yeah, they're awesome. They're awesome. I keep one extra on the shelf, and I've got one hooked up right now. I don't typically operate via RF when I'm participating in the anti-net, but I almost always check into the W6 VVR net on Tuesdays via an RF node.
Yeah. So, have you thought about keeping the Allstar node like on while we're here on YouTube, or did you cut that all off?
No, the Allstar node linked to W6 VVR is on.
Okay.
I disconnect the other digital connections, like the P25 connection, are linked to FreeSTAR. And the reason for that is, one, FreeSTAR has multiple repeaters connected to it, and it also has a ton of digital connections. I mean, sometimes sometimes there's over 100 digital connections
Right.
that are all linked. And so out of respect for those people, even though it's the middle of the night, it's definitely, there's still activity. Like we heard multiple people checking in today or this evening through FreeSTAR. We want to keep those as open as possible. So when we're not utilizing them, it's better just to disconnect them. And we don't want to keep those connected, because if for some reason, FreeSTAR has a net, that could be a really long net on a Saturday, that if it was broadcasting over the W6VVR repeater, then the W6VVR repeater, they couldn't use it for normal local traffic. So sometimes disconnected is better than connected.
But then you're not using it like your own node in that way, right? Like if you were to just straight connect from one Allstar node to another, is it doing that? Or like, can you have to disconnect everything else beyond your node?
Well, I mean, I can keep or disconnect whatever I want. So like if I wanted to, I could leave like the DMR and the YSF talk groups and reflector, I could leave those connected to the W6VVR. We don't necessarily need to, because one, Mike keeps his connected, WG5EEK. Right. And so there is DMR and YSF access to the Whiskey 6 VVR repeater pretty much all the time. The Allstar node is always linked to VVR, the 51094. And so there's a lot of different ways to access it. So you don't have to necessarily have all of the connections connected in order for it to work, because many different people are connected via Allstar to the VVR repeater.
I have to mess with that more.
So Nick, are the connections that WG5 that Mike has, are those are inbound to the VVR? Like you can't use an analog radio and let's say change things what Mike has set up to then jump to somewhere else.
No, but he can change it. He can connect or disconnect, and he's linked to a radio, so I know he's got RF connected on his end. So when somebody talks on the W6 VVR repeater, Mike can hear that on the other side of the country. It's connected. So he'll hear that on the radio.
It's like the guy who runs like the guy who runs the Carla system here, he can play around it, so he could, if you ask, connect to a certain talk group or something like that.
Yep,
yeah,
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Manual though.
Yeah. So like if you wanted to, here's a great example. FreeSTAR is not in any way connected to Brandmeister.
Right.
However, my DMR talk group is connected through Brandmeister. So if you have a hotspot and you want to connect to FreeSTAR, but you want to do it via Brandmeister, you can do that if my talk group is connected to FreeSTAR. So a lot of times on Saturdays, like when I'm off, they have they're really long, but they have really, really good nets that take place on that system. And I'll oftentimes check in or just listen in. And so when there's big events that take place, other people can connect via Brandmeister if they want to through other talk groups and stuff like that. It gets really complicated, but it's a ton of fun. It's a ton of fun to play around with.
And the other thing I was saying was like through analog, like from here I could hit even RF up to VVR, let's say, or Echolink or whatever. And then, Mike could say, well, okay, we're going to check into that network.
Yeah.
And so that's.
Yeah. And that's the beauty of it. Mike, we all as a community have shared in the benefit of Mike's awesome work. Like he's put a lot of effort into just understanding Allstar and how it works and how to make different connections work. And he's really, really good at it. And we've all kind of benefited from that. And so the answer is yes. He has figured out ways to just connect all kinds of different things. And if we wanted to connect to it, we can. So for instance, if somebody wanted to get into a net that was linked to Allstar, and all they had available was Echolink, we can make that happen. That's no problem at all. Or all they have is access to DMR, or all they can do is get on a YSF reflector through a repeater or something like that. We can make all of those things happen. There was a question from Dawn. Has anyone tried the Banana Pi quad core? It's a Chinese knockoff, just wondering. I have not even heard of that. Has anybody else heard of that? Nope. I've heard of the I believe it's the Rock Mite, which is a variation that is not an interchangeable configuration with an I'm assuming this is like a knockoff Raspberry Pi, but I am going to screenshot that and look into it. I appreciate that, Don. All right, we are just past 9 o'clock. Does anybody have anything they want to add before we shut it down and I'll go run off to bed?
How many check-ins were there tonight?
Oh, I wrote it down. I didn't count. There was quite a few though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Nice. Almost 20. Nice. There was quite a few people. That's definitely appreciated. It's fun to hear different people from all over the place. It's really cool to see who gets the exposure and give them an opportunity to check in and test out their radios, stuff like that. So yeah, definitely appreciate it. Appreciate everybody coming out tonight. I say we shut it down and we will see everybody next week. All right.
All right.
All right. You guys have a good night. Okay.
Night, guys.
All right. 7-3.